is the long-awaited and promised spear gun in Warframe. So now this is one of the Warframe weapons that falls in the same category and the same line as the Javelok. So while we have it, let's take a look at it. The look of the weapon is very impressive. Not too complex, but the design is also quite well detailed. I like the fact that they use tintable material for the looks of it. It's not too glossy, and every part of the weapon itself can be tinted for metallic, so good job DE on that. DE also made sure that they were able to stay true to the copper's aesthetics and the looks, because of course that's one of the biggest problems when it comes to certain weapons, certain aesthetics and certain designs in the game. It may not look in par or look similar or look like something that came from the faction itself, and I was glad they were able to stay true to that. It is crisp, it is sharp overall, and when it comes to fashion frame, which is the end game for a lot of people in this genre, this is really one of those special weapons. I will say you just have to find the special coordination of colors to match your frame, and I would suggest the new Vauban skin because that will match your frame skin very well. For me, I tinted the secondary and the tertiary color in gold and used whites and blacks for the primary and the energy color. Now of course with the primary and energy color, you can change the color and tint it to whatever suits your style, whatever you want to do with it, you can do that. Does the stats match the weapon itself, and does it do it justice? Well, in cooperation with Fashion Frame, it's always better and expected for all our well-designed weapons to look good and of course also work absolutely well. This weapon has amazing stats on first look, I must say, but when you analyze it on paper, it might not fit well with your style of play. As we all know, charged weapons in Warframe as of right now have not really found its mark or its way in a fast-paced game as this game is. So it will all come down to personal preference, or of course as some of you may be getting it for mastery fodder. In comparison to the Javelok, they may fall in the same class, but the stats of course differ. Javelok is a status weapon and it's also a grenade weapon, while the FERROX is mostly critical for a corpus weapon, because we know the corpus have always been the one really huge on status, but this time the corpus has brought us a critical weapon. With a 30% crit chance and a 2.5 times multiplier, I don't think you can get any better than that, to be honest. It has a combined of 350 physical damage with a high puncture rating, which is impressive. This is going to be one of those weapons that you can really go toe to toe with when it comes to every gunner's and eye armor target. With the downside of everything being less accuracy at 16.7, it depends. Of course, you can increase the rating or you can change it depending on what you want to do and how you can do that. That will be something that varies based on mods and how you want to mod that. And of course it also has an increase in charge rate at an increase of 0.2. Of course that may not matter, but what do we need more of in a charged weapon? We don't need any more charge rate. But I would think that is one point or one spot that DE has taken the L on that. And on the plus side of the weapon, I must say there is an extra 4 in the magazine, pushing it to 10 rounds, so you can fire more and of course use the weapon more often. And it has of course a shorter reload speed, which is also a good thing. This weapon shines the most with its alt fire. Now of course a lot of weapons in the game doesn't have the alt fire features, but some of the weapons that DE has been releasing lately have alternative fire features, so that is something good and very impressive. It has the ability to tether to multiple enemies at once while also stunning them. And please know that this is an electric based tethering, so if you're looking for maybe a corrosive based tethering, that will not occur, that will not happen. Now one thing I'm not quite sure of is if the damage multiplier on those is based on your mods or if it is just a fixed thing. And as it only seems to just tickle enemies whenever I use them. It doesn't really seem to be as effective as I expected. And there also hasn't been any stat or info about the amount of enemies that you can tether or if it is affected by multi-shot mods, which I hope should be. I would like to know that in the future, or if any one of you have suggestions or know about that, let me know in the comment section. Though the mechanics is unique and all, but the ability to perform those moves periodically and use them effectively in the game will be a very big problem, because once again, the game is a very fast-paced game. Utility wise, I suggest using it with a CC frame like Vauban, Arrest, or Night Mode Equinox, or even a Mag and a Nova. The best frame for these so far, I will say, also will be Volt, as it couples well with Volt's electric abilities. All you just have to do is round them up, CC them, and aim the alt fire for the center of the enemies itself, pretty much the center of the gathering itself. All in all, like I said earlier, there isn't really room for a charged weapon in the game so far, or to use them effectively, unless you just love those kind of weapons, or that is your main thing in the game. And the fact that you have to go and pick it up will give you a hard time, especially if you are using a squishy frame like the new Banshee or the Banshee Prime or whatever it is. If you're using a squishy frame, you will definitely have a hard time using this weapon. And of course, if you cannot CC and put them in place, or if you have no secondary weapons or melee weapons equipped, that will be also tough as well. I wouldn't advise you to buy this with plats. Don't go ahead and buy it with plats. Just wait till your clan research is complete, and if you don't have a clan, just get into one. That will be a lot much easier. Now the verdict is this weapon worth it? Not really worth it. Just wait for everything else, you know. Wait for an upcoming change, or if they make changes to the game or any of those things, but don't spend money on it. Just go ahead and get it when your clan research is complete, and just use it for the Master Father. Well, that'll be all for this review. This is DA Media signing out. See you in the next one.